What's happening? Your girl Frankie Robinson, taking pride in pride. And this is unfortunately my last day of my LGBTQ campaign, taking pride in pride, man. I'm so excited because today, one of my faves, like everybody that I handpicked, I've been so excited about interviewing everybody, and this has been a wonderful, wonderful experience. But today, baby, of the LGBTQ community, Maddie is in the building. Yes! Yes!
Hey, Miss Robinson!
They don't understand and they don't know. Is this thing on?
Is it on, honey? Is this thing recording, baby? What's up, bro?
Girl, I am so blessed for this experience. I have
Queen,
been wanting.
hold on, Queen. Let me stop my phone from ringing. Hold on.
Go ahead, do what you gotta do. I'ma just talk to the people real quick. Y'all, we got T.S. Madison in the building.
Child,
Listen,
come
let me.
on, Chicago. What's up,
Yes,
Chicago?
yes.
Yes.
And listen, I
Somebody
didn't get
say y'all heading out. You heading out. Bye, girl.
a head on out there,
Head
cause
on out, girl. Make sure you don't come back. Don't let the door knob hit you
yes,
with a good Lord split you,
please. I was just
bitch.
saying, this is a forum of love. There will be no shade. There will be no negativity, or your ass will get the chop.
That's
Period.
right. That's
Period.
right.
What's popping?
What's up, baby girl? What's going on out there in the Chi-Town?
Girl, too much.
Chi.
Girl. Too much, honey.
Give me the tea. Pour me the tea. What's going on in the
Girl,
Chi?
you know what they out here? They acting a fool, cutting a fool, killing these babies. Every weekend, it's another baby that they didn't kill, girl. Last Saturday, we buried a 3-year-old. The same Saturday, we had a 1-year-old that was murdered. The next day, we had a 10-year-old that was murdered. Saturday night, an 8-year-old was shot, grazed by a bullet. Girl, they cutting a fool out here.
What?
They cutting a fool out here.
What's going on? What is it? What's going on?
You
Hey,
know,
Simone.
let
What's
me give
going
you a
on?
combination of what it is in a nutshell, and then we're going to talk about you. What it is in a nutshell is lack of parenting, lack of resources, no jobs, no trades.
Now wait a minute. That's a lot of trades there, but
I can't.
that's a whole lot of trades there. But you
It's
talking about?
plenty of trades, honey. It's
Oh,
plenty.
okay. You talking about the other stuff? All right.
Yeah,
I'm
the other
sorry.
stuff. It's a whole lot of gang situations going on. And then we have a new generation of drug addicts. Like, this is unfortunate, but it's true, girl. These pills got them out here thinking that they Superman,
Right.
and just a whole lot of petty shit in a nutshell. Like, it's a lot of pettiness going on that shouldn't be going on. And, like I said, lack of parenting and lack of love for one another. It's sad that we have a whole wonderful, beautiful agenda going on right now with the BLM movement. And
Right.
we can't, like, how we expect somebody to take us seriously when we killing each other. We asking for equal rights, and then this is how we doing each other.
Well, I'm always saying stuff like that or whatever, and they like to tell me that it's not the time, but basically,
Girl, back.
it's definitely the time for us to be, to be united. Now, granted, we're not gonna all get along with each other. We not.
Right.
We ain't gonna get along with each other, and it might be a little, but it might be, but if we can come together, for the common cause, we can get stuff going. But mind you, let's be real. Even though that stuff is going on, just let's look at all the changes that have happened over the past, like, what has it been, about 2-3 weeks? Like, we getting a lot of like a lot of stuff that's been in our faces torn down, and I have to say, wow, I'm really glad to be living in this revolutionary period, in this monumental period where I'm able to know, like, I'm about to be 43 years old.
Work.
That's girl.
I'm older than you, though.
You look good,
girl. We killing them.
Yes,
we killing them.
But I'm glad to see that all of these things. And my grandfather, he's about to be 80 years old.
Oh, amazing.
And he's able to see, like, things that like systems that were in place and stuff that, you know, have been oppressing Black people have been, boom, you know, like coming down.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people say, well, we don't, well, my mom is very much so like, she don't like all the violent stuff. She don't like all of that. But I said, Mommy, look at how the moves are being made. Like, look at how, you know, the shit is like really being shaken up.
Yeah.
Coming down, you know.
Girl, they even gave us a Band-Aid our color. We know we moving in the right direction, child.
Yeah.
They done switched Band-Aids, girl.
Band-Aid, they gave us a whole box of crayons, girl.
You see them?
Did you see all the crayons, the crayons?
Yeah.
Girl, listen, they got them going back, taking out blackface on all those old shows. Honey, Mrs. Butterworth, her stock probably went because Aunt Jemima was definitely in danger. Uncle B is in danger. You know what I'm saying? Like all of these
They didn't even get on the Golden Girls, honey, about the scene where Blanche had the Confederate flag. So you already know, like they digging for real. They stopping everything. And I'm so happy that we are in this climate and that we are in this time. But I want to applaud you because it's something that you say all the time that I think is something that a lot of people don't hear. And you always say that I'm Black before I'm gay. I was Black before I was anything. And I think that a lot of people have it confused when they hear Black Trans Lives Matter. Can you break it down to our audience?
I have to say it for me, what it means for me. It means it's not taken away from anything that Black Lives Matter, because Black Lives Matter is inclusive of me anyway. But I need to make sure that for those people who are in that movement that don't see it and be like, well, you know, like y'all LBGT or y'all trans and y'all got a whole nother thing going on. No, we Black too, baby. You feel me? And our lives matter too. And I think there's been time and time where a lot of people have, you know, thought that we're because we fall under the LBGT umbrella, that we're safe from things, you know, when just the other day, I don't know if you watched my post where a white gay man posted about Juneteenth. I cussed his motherfucking ass out. Like, why would you post this about Juneteenth and then say sign the gays? Like, girl, so when is gays, when did you erase Black gays? So we're even being erased under a whole other umbrella. You know what I'm saying? So This is why it's important to say Black Lives Matter, Black Trans Lives Matter, because we're not protected because, you know, we might fall under the rainbow girl. Right. Mind you, and let me tell you something. They won't even put a brown stripe on the rainbow flag. So that should tell the people something. They won't even put a brown stripe on it. Mm-hmm. So we have to say that. It's important that we say that. It's imperative that we battle for stuff like that, because it's just like, girl, we're Black. We're Black. Period. We're Black. You know, when this stuff start coming down, and a person is going to go with what they are first. And I love my white gay folks or whatever. You feel me? But when it all boils down, you white gay, your privilege still runs down the pipe. It still runs down the pipe to you, even though you might be a little, you know, oppressed here and there. But your white privilege comes first. It comes Absolutely. First. You're gonna get before us. You're gonna get a grant before us, you know, for health care and for housings and things like that. You're gonna get that before we do. You're gonna get, you know, your systems and things funded. You know, your prides are gonna be much bigger than ours because, you know, you're funded, you know, by the system that backs you. And, you know, at the end of the day, Black people need to understand that, like, we don't, sometimes we don't feel included because it's like, oh, that gay shit don't got nothing. You hear it. Girl, please, you know we all do. Don't got nothing to do with me, you know. And I'm like, nah, it has a lot to do with you, especially in this movement, because we're all one in this, you know. Yeah.
And unfortunately, our community, the African American Black community, we rough on gays. We are rough. And
I mean, it's such a, we have lots of disconnects with stuff. We got a disconnect between, you know, straight men and black straight men and gay men, and we have a disconnect between, you know, cisgender black women and black trans women. Like it's so many different lines that are just not connecting. And I do think that the disconnect comes a lot from the way that we were, you know, raised under a biblical doctrine. I just feel like that you know, that biblical doctrine has set in us all the way back from the slave period, and it's just like, you know.
How do you feel about when you do hear people say, well, it's in the Bible and God said it's wrong, so it's wrong. I don't want my kids around that, and I don't want my kids exposed, and it's just wrong, and they going to hell. And
Well, I think that those people, you know, have to really have to step outside. And I know a lot of people say, well, you can't equate race and, you know, sexuality, sexual orientation, and gender identity. But, you know, what's the difference? Because I ask a lot, when did you choose to be straight? At what point did you choose that you get up and say, I'm going to be straight? Like, do you think that? And I used to talk about this stuff all the time, like way back, you know, on my lives and stuff. Like, there was a time that I struggled with it myself, and I was like, girl, I really wish that I wasn't this way, and I really wish that there was a pill that I could take, and I would take another one just to make sure that it's gone, you know. And I don't think people really have actually sat down and really talked, communicated, or understood, or because they already put their hands up like, nah, I don't want to deal with that. And they don't even look at us as human beings, you know. I think that we have gotten to a place where we only heard abomination in reference to gays, LGBT people, and we've only heard hellfire is mainly for us, and then everything else can be forgiven. You know what I'm saying? And it's just that we have to break that thought process and understand that God is not religion, God is relationship, you know. And we have to know that gay people have a relationship with God. You know, if we didn't, God would have been wiped us out of existence, you know.
Period. Absolutely.
This is just the way I feel that you opening up your platform that might be predominantly you know, heterosexual people watching, you know, to a person like myself who's trans and loud and in color, you know, very unapologetic for who I am.
Yes, and I love every bit of it.
Yes, sister, I don't hide anything. And these are ways that, you know, some of the stigmas and some of the stuff gets broken down, because a person can come on here with all types of preconceived notions about me and get on here and might laugh a little bit, or, you know, or learn something and be like, you know what, Dave, them motherfuckers ain't bad as I thought they was, you know? So I just think more of this needs to happen. I think more of this, more of inclusion. And I know lots of times people say, oh, I don't want my kids seeing any of that gay stuff on television. Well, remember there was a time that white kids, parents were saying to other white people that I don't want to see those black people on television. Why do they have to have, like, girl, we don't want to see that. And we were influenced by, you know, white culture. Like, all we know is, even when we're joking around, like, even though I love mamas, but she says, get out of my Caucasian house. You know, Joanne the Scammer. I love Joanne. I love Joanne. It's funny, but
who doesn't? Big shouts out to Joanne.
Yeah, but we've equated grandness to rich white woman. Rich white woman. Bitch, I want to be a rich black woman, honey.
Period.
You know what I'm saying? And,
period.
You know, so I think we need to see more.
I agree.
To have more and more inclusions of things, so a lots of, you know, stigma and lots of hatred could be worn on. The more we hitting it, the wall may not be coming down with them first blows, but we weighing on it.
Oh yes. Oh yes. And just like how you saw last year, it was the anniversary of LGBTQ rights and pride, and how so many people came together, and it was, you could see it on TV more often, and it was just a lot of things that you weren't seeing in the past that now you had an opportunity to see. Just like our station, the station, you know, WGCI, for the longest, we didn't have a place in pride, and we now for the last couple years have, you know, have joined the Pride Parade every year. And I think it's essential because whether we acknowledge it or not, a lot of our listeners are gay, are trans, are bisexual, are lesbian. I mean, it just is. People need to understand that, you guys, you know, this is everybody's world and we're all here to stay. So it is what it is. But my question to you is, we see situations like Dwayne Wade and his daughter. And a lot of, she's too young, he's too young, he doesn't know what he's doing, and they're egging it on and they pushing it down people's throats. And what do you think about people who say, well, he's too young and you shouldn't be pushing him in that direction? Well, he doesn't know what he wants.
I think that if they knew as when they were young where they wanted to go, and their parents allowed, and because it seems unnatural, because the natural thing is when you're born, you're a boy, you like a girl. When you're a girl, you like a boy. You grow up, you be a man. You grow up and be a woman. Lots of people don't have any education on, you know, gender identity, and there are people that are struggling. This is why we have the down low man.
Oh my God, and it's so many.
We have the down low man because we won't allow, we tell them you're going to hell if you're gay. So they get together, they marry a woman, they give a woman 15,000 children, and they sneak off that one or two times. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Then we have the suicide rate that's high because people are really over here struggling. Then we have the murders of trans women because the men who are attracted to us and want to be with us, like, we have to keep that on the low and as a secret. Like, this stuff is going on. So for me, I think that what Dwayne Wade is doing with his child is expressing unconditional love, showing unconditional love for his child, and allowing his child to grow into her identity or whatever it is. You know, my thing is now, here's where I might get in hot water. But when I was hearing people say, but I don't think Zaya is actually transitioning right now. I think that Zaya is just coming into fruition.
Who Zaya is.
I'm a trans person. You know, you got to come, you have to come into that first. Like, I'm trans.
And sit in it for a minute, right?
For a minute, and then start getting into, you know, whatever. I don't think that, and they're not doing this, okay? They're not doing this. But I don't think that at a young age, that we should administer hormone therapy or hormone changing things to children, because we still have an adolescent period that we need to go through. Mm-hmm. And when we're going through that adolescent period, it's a lot of thoughts going on in the mind, a lot of thoughts, a lot of like I told you earlier, there was a time that I thought that I didn't want to be, you know, because I was going through, or thought that I was going to go to hell, or thought that I was going to go, you know, or going through, you know, so much, you know, backlash for it. So we have to allow the children to grow through their adolescent years. That's just my thing. I feel that way. Like, I didn't start transitioning until I was around about 17, 18, 19, okay. Like, in that space. I didn't start doing it then. I don't think that 7, 8, 9, 10, and, you know, I don't think that they need to be administering, you know, hormone stuff. That's my opinion. And now, to each his own. But that's my opinion. Whatever you do in your home with your child, that's your business, and I have to respect that, you know. But you have to deal with the consequences of stuff that go on down the line. Like, you can deal with it on two ways. One, you can deny, you know, your child's identity and then end up being the hurt parent, where the child slamming the door on you, walking out of your life forever because they're saying, bitch, it's me over everything and I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? Or you can let your child come to you and talk to you and say, mommy, there are things going on inside of me that I don't understand. And that, you know, I need to explore these things that's going on inside of me. And the best thing that you can do is be a support system for your child, because you don't want them to go out in the world and let the world devour them up and eat them up. You don't want that type of stuff to happen, because you'll regret it down the line if you turn on the news and your child is found dead, murdered at the hands of some homophobe or some transphobe, you know, or your child has hung him or herself in a closet somewhere, and you over there like, why I didn't listen, why I never listened, you know, to my child. So, you know, those are my thoughts. I feel like that I support Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union, you know, for showing their child unconditional love, agape love, what God tells us to do. You know what I'm saying? Like love. That was God's main rule for us on this earth. That was his rule. Love one another. Yep. That was his rule.
Yep, I agree. Recently, speaking of taking accountability, we had Miss B. Simone make some comments that you have voiced your opinion on.
I did. And maybe I didn't word it right when I ranted right on the thing, because, you know, maybe I was talking in my urban language, like, bitch, you know. But I do feel like that, you know, when you get into a space and you have a big spotlight on you, because I'm always under heavy scrutiny too, because I'm under fire right now for, you know, women being offended by the term fish. And I was like,
somebody just mentioned that in the comments. I mean, I personally,
well, you understand what it is and you know what it is, but because you're a part of a big, well, you're a part of, whether you're in the life or not, you're a part of, you know, a community where, you know, that was a slang term or whatever. However, as I explained, because I talked it out with the girl on my on my YouTube channel yesterday, I talked it out with her and I said, well, listen, if you don't want me, because I can't speak for anybody else, but if you don't want me referring to you as fish, I won't refer to you as fish, because I've never referred to you as fish, you know, before. I've never referred to you as fish. I never talked about you as fish. I've always referred to you as your name. You understand what I'm saying? But you can't police gay lingo when gays are talking, gay or trans talking with each other.
And it's to me, it's almost like a term of endearment, because when I think of, I know my gay girlfriends who are trans say fish in a good way, like, I'm giving all fish today, like I'm looking at 100% woman.
But you understand exactly what it means,
right?
But, you know, some of them don't want to give that understanding. They think it's a derogatory term, because, you know, on older is. Let me tell you something. When I'm reading, if me and a woman get into it, I'm not calling you no fish.
No,
that's not the word. That's the word you get. You ain't getting that word.
No, when the library is open, that's not
the word you getting, honey. You're not getting that word, baby. You're getting many other words but fish. Okay, so that's why I'm like, girl, I don't use that in a derogatory way towards women. You know, especially if I'm saying, if I'm talking to my girlfriend. And it could be a gay man, it could be another trans woman. Like, girl, you giving the fish. You know what it means? Like, girl, you is giving off the
you
fish.
serving. You giving everything right. Yeah.
You know, but I understand if people say, you know, oh, don't call me fish. Okay, I won't. But when I'm having conversations with my gay friends and trans friends, you are not going to be able to eradicate something that's not oppressive, because fish is not something that's oppressive that we use in our community. And you know that because you have gay friends. You've educated yourself in the community, girl. You know, we call women like you fruit flies, you know, because we say we fruits, girl. So we have so much different slang, and a lot of our slang was code words. It was code words about you know, during a time when we weren't able, you know, to actually be trans women or be drag queens or be this, you know, we had to use code words like, girl, you know, don't come in here looking like fish tonight because they're going to pull you together. You
Yeah,
know, so
because you had to pass back then, or either be shunned or shamed or disrespected.
Yes, there are lots of, you know, of history behind, you know, the situation, but I do think that, you know, that B Simone in that situation was really talking out of context, and then she just leaned on it. They like, and it sounded like when she said, "Oh, I got tranny, you know, tranny friends," and girl, you know, and girl, I don't not worry about the LBGT tomato, lettuce, bacon, and tomato, you know, community. Like, and I think that we're in very sensitive times because we can't say to a white person who might get in the conversation to be like, well, what about those blackies and, you know, the black stuff?
Yeah, you just can't say everything. And especially when you have that kind of platform, like I don't even have that big of a platform like you do or like B Simone does, but I do have a big platform, and
well,
I have to be very mindful.
People, if you're reaching people, whether you're reaching 300, 3,000, or 3 million, that is your platform. You're doing what God called you to do, because everybody can't do that. Like, there are people out here who got an Instagram account that got 10 people on it, girl. Listen, God didn't call you to do that. Just keep working. That's what God called you to do, girl. Oh, he didn't tell you to do that, girl. But, you know, I just think that people that before they start getting on podcasts and things like that, if they are not meaning to offend or not meaning to come off, you know, with any phobic thing at the end of whatever it is, whether it's homophobic, transphobic, I feel like that the first words out of heterosexual people's mouth should be, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what to say.
Just be mindful. You know, be mindful.
I don't know. Like,
be mindful.
I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I don't really understand it because, and the word tranny, and I tried to explain this the other day, like when I was, because you know I cusses and fusses, girl. When I was cussing and fussing,
I know,
like, for people that was coming against me, I was like, girl, y'all jumped all out the window, girl, but didn't know that I was waiting on you bitches outside. The word tranny, I was not offended by you know, them saying the word tranny, because, you know, the original usage for the word tranny was a short version of saying transgender or transsexual, was a short version. However, over the course of time, you know, there has been people that have been murdered. Those are the last words they heard: tranny, faggot, you know, dyke, you know, all of these things that are used in a way. Fish ain't been the last words that people have been heard before they've been. You know, those haven't been the last words. It's been faggot.
Girl, you in this mini bag. Hold on.
Girl, listen, you got to stay prepared.
Girl, you in the mini bag, dear.
Listen, my Bible says, "Be also ready." That's what my book says.
That was weak.
You know, my book say who. So, you know, so I just think that, well, let me finish. So I was not angry about it because it didn't I've monetized off of the word tranny. I've monetized off of the word she-male. I've monetized off of that. However, as the time has progressed and there have been, you know, countless lives lost, countless trans lives lost, you know, I had to say, Madison, it may not, you know, affect you, but you got to fall back, you know, from that, because this has been an oppressive word. This has been a word that has death on it. This word has vitriol attached to it. So you gotta back up from that or whatever, and you got to see it from this. Because I was once I was outside, I was in a parade like, fuck that. I'm being honest. Fuck that shit. Tranny ain't nothing. But I was in a selfish space, only thinking about, you know, that's what I've made, you know, lots of my money from. Like, I've made my money from that, so it didn't affect me. However, it was affecting other people around that was not in that industry, you know. So it's important that I had some type of, hold on, sister, hold on,
getting to that bag. If y'all didn't know, man, we're taking pride in pride with the one.
I'm sorry.
Yes, Madison.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. That's why it's important that you have some type of sensitivity to it, because you know people have been losing their lives, you know, in for that. So I just had to fall back. And my thing was what angered me in the conversation. Okay, what angered me in the conversation was two or three cisgender women trying to explain what a transsexual is, what a transgender is, and you know what is this, and they're like, well, it's a dude in a wig, and if a dude ain't had a sex change or sexual reassignment surgery, or if a dude ain't did this, then they ain't no transsexual, they still did just a dude in a wig. And I'm like, wait a minute, like every trans person does not want to aspire
gender reassignment surgery.
Have to have gender reassignment surgery. Like, you are so uneducated, you're so dumb to be sitting here trying to explain this on a podcast that mainly, you know, women and men might listen to. And you know, you have these people out here with the thinkies like, oh, well, if they ain't got their dick cut off, then girl, they not transsexual. There's something called a preoperative transsexual and a post-operative transsexual. Like, we still fall under the transgender umbrella. So it's not, well, you're not a trans because you don't have a sexual reassignment surgery, girl. You a dude in a wig. No, that's not what you are. That's not what it is. So that was what I was more so angered about than even the term tranny, because like I said, and I'm guilty of, girl, not really at one point not really caring about the whole tranny, you know, aspect of the situation.
Right.
But I become more aware, and I was like, you know, but that didn't offend me. Like, they could have said that, I wouldn't have even responded about it, because I'm like, girl, I don't even want to get over there. But it was just the breakdown and the trying to you know, trying to explain this in a way. And I'm like, girl, you don't know what the fuck you talking about, girl. Why are you really sitting here like really trying to break it down? And then she jumps over here and says, oh, well, I got a tranny bit. Well, girl, your tranny friend hasn't told you.
Should have educated you and let you know.
She hasn't told you how this stuff works, girl. Like, what are you? What is it? You know? And so, you know, that's the part that angered me. And you know, at the end, someone asked, why does everyone say cisgender? That's my question. Cisgender is the terminology that's used to differentiate between trans and biological. You understand what I'm saying? Because there are cisgender men. Cis doesn't just pertain to women. And see, this is the thing, that a lot of women have been so offended by so many different things because a change has come. And anytime changes come around, there's a huge uncomfortable, like, I'm not comfortable with that. I don't like that. Why you just can't say a real woman, a biological woman? Why can't you say that?
Because they're different terms.
It's just like, you can say that, but that's not a term that the gay community made up. It's a scientific term that differentiates between the word biological. Biological,
right,
men and women, the gender that these people identify with. You know, I'm trans, so therefore I am transgender. You're cis because you identify as.
And look, I'm looking at some of these comments. A lot of people actually think it's SIS. It's not SIS, it's CIS, cisgender.
Yes, you know.
Yeah.
So for me, lots of times when we get into these places and these conversations and stuff like that, you know, a lot of people say, well, I don't like that because the term cis is backing up exactly what you're saying. So, you know, if you're over there trying to let a person know, bitch, I'm a real woman. Yeah. So we say, okay, well, you're cisgender.
Cisgender.
I ain't cis, I'm real. Yeah.
Exactly. That's what we saying, sis. We saying, sis, that you cis.
Yes. You know, like they say, cis means same as sign at birth. Right. Cis.
Right.
Means
biological.
Biological. Yes. There it is. Yeah, like there's cisgender men, there's cisgender women, because there are transgender men and there are transgender women. A trans man is a female to male transgender.
Yes.
A trans woman is a male to female transgender. So this is why there's the difference of cis and trans.
Somebody said, got it. So look, we got to wrap it up in a minute because they only give me 30 minutes on here, but I
Oh,
always.
okay.
We don't even seem like we've been out here that long.
No.
That's because, girl, this energy is everything. And speaking of energy, now, if you don't want to talk about this, that's fine.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
So people in the comments want to know, and before you answer this question, I just want to say something real quick. People want to know why you have such a problem with Kaya. Let me just say this.
Okay, go ahead.
Quick. I personally don't have an issue with her, but I will tell you this. When I used to watch the two of you, I always said, I promise you, and it's no shade, this ain't gonna last long because the energy was all the way off. There is a different kind of energy that you have. There is a warmness and a lovingness to your energy. There's a fun lovingness to your energy. And I don't get that from her all the time.
Here's the thing. They love to say that I love attacking black women. Kaya is the biggest attacker of all things.
Period.
She read black women down to the ground. You get what I'm saying?
Period.
I read it. She reads everybody to the fucking ground. But let's not make this about if you're mad at me or if they have a problem with me for clapping back, because I never clap. I always clap
back.
So my thing is, I don't got no problem with Kaya. If the bitch stop saying fuck shit to me, then I stop saying fuck shit to her. You know, there's some days that I just pay it. I'd be like, girl, I ain't finna say nothing. But then there's days that she jump out the window like unwarranted for nothing and just goes on a whole rampage. And I'm like, okay, today's your day. Just like today was that whole day. She got it today. She got it all day on my Twitter all day. So follow me on Twitter at TS Madison ATL1. She got it all day today. All day. You know, and my thing is I don't feel bad about giving it to her motherfucking ass because she gives it to everybody else. So I don't mind giving it to her. If she don't open up her mouth in my direction, she wouldn't hear a peep out of me. And this is the thing that I get with people, right? I don't get, excuse me. Why is it okay for a bitch to say something to you and then you supposed to take the high road because you got so much more to lose? Yeah, I got a lot of shit to lose, but guess what? I also got my integrity as well.
And you're a human being.
You're not going to get out there every day and just this and the other and make me seem like I'm a pussy because there ain't shit pussy about me except this mug, girl.
Period. Okay, so this is my last question and we gonna get off here because I done went past the time, but I don't care.
That's all right.
Girl, we having fun. It's a good old kiki.
Yeah.
So lately we've been seeing you posting somebody on your IG, child. And I think the people want to know, are you single or are you in a relationship?
Well, girl, listen, I love my baby. That's all I can say. I love my baby. We fry, bake, and saute in that kitchen. We bake, fry, saute, you know. But how y'all know they ain't the cover up for the real husband that's in the background?
Oh, you heard it here first.
Girl, I'm just talking.
You heard it here first. Will there be wedding bells in the near future?
Who knows, girl? Who knows? Maybe we might see it on that over there one day. Who can tell?
And you know what? That's another thing. When your ass gonna get on TV, you need a show.
You
need a damn show.
I don't know. Maybe after the corona. Who knows?
But what you think about Miss Corona too?
Girl, I think lots of it is true, and then I think a lot of it is pandemic. I do think like it's election time coming up. They were trying to shoe him in. I do think that, especially with all this voter suppression and things going on like now, like girl, all these absentee ballots and like all of the things that we're finding out. Like girl, I just read somewhere where they sent 1.4 billion or trillion dead people. So you know what they're doing.
Oh yeah,
you know what they're doing with those absentee ballots, girl. So. It's just all tied up into the situation. Is it a pandemic? Yes. People are dying. People are sick. People are because I know people with the COVID and I know people who have passed away, you know, from it. However, I do think that the government and, you know, this whole process is piggybacking off of that, you know, and using the news as propaganda, you know, to push it up, because every day we find out that there's 19,000 new cases. Well, girl, if it's 19,000 or 9,000 or 8,000 new cases, and Trump is on TV saying, well, girl, you know, where's everybody going to get tested at?
Facts.
Where's everybody getting tested? So where are you getting these numbers?
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard that there are people who have been in a hospital and have passed away from other underlying other causes, and they're blaming it on the COVID-19.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about money. It's all about politics. They'll take something real and ride the back of it.
I'm so glad we got an opportunity. You know, you were the last person for my Taking Pride with Pride campaign this month, and I wanted to end it with a bang. And this was everything and
Did
more.
you live
that I
for
could
it,
have.
girl? Did you live?
Girl, I'm living.
Yes.
I'm
We gotta
loving
put
how
this
you
on the
got it.
YouTube. Put this out there on the damn YouTube,
Oh,
girl.
girl, it's going everywhere. What are you
Good.
saying?
Yes.
Yes. You know, anytime you are in Chicago, you have to come see me, man. We got to sit in the studio and chop it up. When I get back in the studio, I want you to continue doing what you're doing. You are vital. You are needed. You are loved. You are amazing. Do not stop. I know you ain't going to stop, but don't stop. I love you to death.
I love you too,
always,
baby.
Anything you need from me,
Listen,
get
my number. Get my number when have my people hit. You know, let's exchange. You know, so
yes,
we can chop it up on the phone. So you can come on my show.
Yeah, I would love to.
Yes, and we chop it up, girl, in the morning. You know, I'm probably gonna start doing Maddie in the morning, like 5 days out the week.
That's what I was gonna say, Maddie in the morning.
Yeah. Yes.
I would love to.
Yes,
Thank you so much. And I'm going to hold you to that because I will be there.
Well, message, you know how to do it. You know my girl.
Yeah, I know how to get in touch with her. And look, I'm going to bring a cocktail and we're going to have us a good old time. Period.
Yes. All right, baby. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Mom. Thank you, Maddie Mom, for who's been down there in the comment section. Thank y'all for who was windmilling for me. Thank y'all haters that came on. Thank y'all haters.
And tell everybody what you doing real quick. Like you got something going on that we need to know about. You got something that you want to plug. This is your time.
Yeah, I'm just plugging Maddie in the morning. Make sure you tune into Maddie in the morning. I'm live on all my social media, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. It's T.S. Madison Hinton, T.S. Madison ATL1 on Twitter. Girl, that's all I can say for now. Like I can't really, talk about everything else. But for now, join me on Maddie in the morning and Monday nights. I'm on a little hiatus. I'm taking a little break because I have things. Girl, I'm taking a little break because I got stuff going on. But I'm gonna bring the show back in a couple of weeks. We just chilling right now for the Queen's Supreme Court. And we'll be back, after we done chilled, doing what we doing. But I'll be Maddie in the morning. And just watch me. Just tune in, girl. Tune in.
We love you, girl. We love you. We
too,
need
baby.
you. You are amazing and essential. Love you so much. Anytime you need us, we're here. Chicago, you already know who it is. It's T.S. Madison. Ew. Hey. Good night, love.